So it's going to eat really well, and so that's in your salad and also in your sandwich.
Wonderful.
And this is what we can expect on the menu?
Yes, these will all these things will be on the menu.
Right.
When do you think you said May?
May 1st. Yep, May sloppy joes with bacon and grass-fed beef and a nice little cabbage slaw.
Thank you very much.
And we have dessert. Okay. So Jeff's cattle were here. You can see the manure is built up to the concrete sill. That does a couple of things. So this is like, it's a very simple name. It's just called deep bedding technique. So the idea is the deeper the bedding, you're creating, has anybody ever made like sauerkraut at home?
Yeah.
Right, like a natural fermented sauerkraut?
Yeah.
The idea is if you can get enough good bacteria established in a given space, it'll help to mitigate the bad bacteria. So it'll work in kind of like, hand in hand where they're like, well, there's only so many nutrients available, so we want to be able to get the nutrients, so they'll start to fight off and eat out the bad bacteria. And so we don't have to use antibiotics. We've never used antibiotics on any of our animals. And you can see all that corn that's been layered into the bedding, that's fermented now and has a nice sweet smell to it. The pigs smell that and they're just like, okay, well, let's help you out. We'll turn this bedding over. And so in a couple of weeks, if you guys come back in a couple of weeks, this will be dried out and it'll be nice and dark and completely broken down and ready to spread on the field without, if you've ever spread manure, fresh out of a barn, you get big clumps that end up and they, burn out little plots of grass and then you got to wait for, to mow it off by the mid-season until it kind of breaks down. Whereas this spread's so even and fine, it's basically ready to go out right away, So, and while they're not on pasture, rooting up whatever and picking up, acorns out the woods and whatever that drops, it gives them good exercise, and so that really gives the meat that kind of that rose color to it, So this is the system here. So this is them aerating that bedding, really going to work, and these are the pigs,
So
We put probably for three of these sections, so you see how they're numbered, probably about 50 pounds. So for this, once a week, 100 pounds of shell corn. These guys are about 6 and 7 months. So they got 50 pounds of shell corn into the bag, and that layers up over time until it gets to the sill of this concrete. And at that point, we switch where the cattle were and the pigs were, and we let the pigs into here. So the pigs kind of come in, root up and aerate the bedding, and then once that allows it to start to break down and get air into it, and the oxygen increases the bacteria. And at that point, it's a lot easier to spread on the field. It's a lot more friable,
And more nutrient available.
Right. So the other part
way
is
of breaking it down.
Right. Exactly. So the other part is because Jeff's cattle are 100% grass-fed. There's certain nutrients that the soil really benefits from that don't necessarily that are not all available in one package. So where Jeff's cattle have plenty of nitrogen in their manure, they're lacking in phosphorus, as well as other micronutrients. And animals, every type of animal that there are on a farm has a different nutrient level on the pH scale. Okay, so you have stuff that's more alkaline and more acidic. Cattle are kind of right smack dab in the middle. Sheep and poultry are the highest in acidity, and then hogs are actually the lowest in acidity. So hogs will actually slightly increase the alkalinity of soil. So putting their nutrient in here, especially in Medina County, we have slightly sour soil and some very sour soil, so they can kind of sweeten it a little bit, naturally without having to just add tremendous amount of lime. And not only that, lime is, when you spread lime, it's not immediately bioavailable. It takes about 3 years to actually work itself into the soil. So with hog manure added into this and kind of that nice mixture of compost, it really is just immediately bioavailable to the plants.
This is a year-old Dexter. They are a small breed.